Hey, hey, hey. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another one. I got a lot of energy today. I haven't played much lately, which is a drag. So, up and over. Let's try this. Just cannot get the angles right in this house. Sorry. Hope nobody's sick. Again. Hey, what's up? So, as always, any questions, chat. I'll chat you back. I'll address your questions. I'm gonna, thanks for subscribing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Check out Jazz Drum Hack if you haven't. That's the hub of this. And I'm gonna play just a little bit, but shoot me any question you have. Let me know what you're listening to, what you're working on. And, there. That looks much better. Not all morning, a little bit this morning, I was listening to Brian Blade. On this album called Yeah Yeah 3. It's one of my favorite Brian Blade recordings. And anyway, so I'm kind of in that mood. I'm in the Brian Blade mood. So usually that means some rim shots, some dynamics, just trying to get in that vibe. What's up? All right. Good to see everybody. As I mentioned, if you have any questions about what you're working on or what I'm working on or anything, please chime in. Please. Let's see. What do I have over here? So, I've been, last week, I believe I mentioned I'm working in this Jim Chapin book. I still am working in Jim Chapin book. I'm still working on, boom, this, with all my left hand. So, I'm going to play it for you in a second. Just had a question. Kit sounds great. Simone, Simon. The model is a early 1980s Ludwig rocker. They're maple shells. That's about all they have necessarily good going for them, to be honest with you. I have a towel on the bass drum, and this is my first ever drum set, actually. So this is what I really played in middle school, high school, and actually, you know, the next kit I got after this Ludwig, I got a DW kit, which at the time was awesome. But as I started playing more jazz, it frankly was horrible because I could never get the floor tom to sound like I wanted it to. They just, I don't know, they were kind of the cut of the bearing edge and the way they were, I could never get them to sound as much like a jazz drum as I wanted. These, actually, the floor tom is a pain in the butt because it's a 16-inch floor tom with no bottom head. So it sounds, to me, horrible. But the 12-inch tom is good, actually, and the bass drum is cool. And then this is my Noble & Cooley snare drum, single-ply tulip wood. So this is a bad boy. But thank you for saying the drums sound good. I'll take that as a compliment. So, what else did I miss? Okay. I'm working. What is that? Okay, sorry. T's working on medium swing solos, like 120, 130, yeah. And Peace and Groove says, have you ever worked on a click displacement or things like whole note clicks? Whole note clicks. I'm not sure. I would love to answer your question. I'm not really sure what you mean by click displacement. Like with a click and then displacing the beat, sort of like that sort of contemporary hip-hoppy thing. A little bit, I've done that, slightly. And so with this, I'll play it just because I got it out. And this is what I'm practicing. All left hand. So all left hand, trying to get the triplets smooth and everything with my left hand. It's a workout. But I think we can all agree our weak hand, which for me is my left hand because I'm a righty, is not the best. So I'm working on it. Rough, man. It's like lifting weights, but I'm working on it. Missed something. So the question about the click displacement, let's see. Oh, click on, oh, I see what you're saying. Hey, Bartu. Click on beat one of every bar, click on, I haven't, no. I tell you, the things I've done with the click is, I have done it where I put the click on the downbeat of every measure. And I've done it where I put the click on the upbeat go ahead, chat any question you have. I'll, tell you at least my experience. But I've used the click on every downbeat, and I put the click for the upbeat. So 1 and 2 and 3. I've done that. That's about as much as I've done with the click. But last week I think I mentioned it, but I've mentioned it a lot. But something similar is working on a release point. So I may have the click on a downbeat to help me feel the bigger beat. Excuse me. And then I'll try to have a release point of beat 2, or a release point on the and 2, meaning I play over the bar line and I release the phrase with a crash or a push or whatever on a different count. But I think actually it would be helpful. I should try it. I'm going to do it. I think it would be cool for a lot of us to put the click on beat 4. Yeah, because like that's that magical New Orleans. That's the shit. That beat 4, target points. You could call it a target point, release point, whatever. Yeah, same thing. Where that you're playing over the bar line of a phrase to get, to not on beat 1 always, and not always on the end of 4, right? I find it helpful because then if you're playing and you're really focusing in on the soloist phrases, sometimes I think I want to, and sometimes it's effective to play over the bar line or play off of the soloist phrases. And if they play over the bar line by 3 beats, and you want to add a little, release point or whatever you want to call it after their phrase, it might be on the and 3. And if you haven't sort of done that, it may be easy for you, it may not. So I like to practice it. But I haven't done a ton with the click. But I think beat 4 would be actually pretty happening. Target points, if you want to call them that. Yeah. T asks, let's see, first question. Can you show some ways to make just 8th note solo ideas swing? Let's see. So, yeah, making 8th note solo ideas swing. A lot of times, when the bass drum is involved, I think a lot of times this is just not hearing you do it. Oftentimes we try to make it swing, and it doesn't need to, right? So it's like a lot of times we try to make it swing, and it doesn't need to. It's really actually straighter than we think. So a couple ways that I play 8th note lines and try to make it swing is not to make it too da 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 da. It's just like playing. Paradiddles. This is stuck. Sorry, everybody. Silliness with the phone today. So I do paradiddles in any fashion around the kit. I like to do left hand all of my snare drum and moving my right hand around with all the ands on my bass drum. not trying to swing them is the way to go. Just think about them almost being a little straighter, and keeping the ride cymbal with 2 hand and then 2 foot. The paradiddle diddle, my favorite friend. That's a great one for 8th note lines too. I don't know if that's helpful at all. Let me know if it's not. Let's see, what did I miss? Raymond. Okay, so Raymond's been working on syncopation. I'm comping with left hand and bass drum, singing short notes as a dit. The bass drum quarters as dar. Is this okay? Of course it's okay. Let's see. You're doing syncopation, comping with left hand and bass drum. Yeah, let me... Dang. I don't have that book out. But... couple things I've done with syncopation. That's a good way to do it. What you're doing is good. A couple other ways to do it is, yeah, like every quarter note is a bass drum. Every 8th note is a snare drum or left hand. Singing it and then playing it is a good way to go. Another way that I've used, I mean, there's a ton of ways to use syncopation. If you email me, jazzdrumhang@gmail, I can send you an email back of a list of ways that I have used the syncopation book. And that's a list that I've gathered from things teachers have told me and I've done and all that. But another way that I found it very, very useful is kind of doing what I did with the Jim Chapin book, is playing all those rhythms in syncopation as accents. And then you fill in every, you're playing a triplet. Sorry, I'm not on my game today. You play a triplet for every measure with your left hand or with your right foot or whatever you want to work out. And then the written notes in syncopation are the accents. So, for instance, now this is taking it away from you doing a 2-voice comping thing, but I would, wanted to show you. So... Okay, beginning. Trying to play my cymbal on quarter notes. So that's another way that I've done that. It's obviously been a minute, and I need to revisit it. But that was really helpful for my left hand. Another way to maybe break it up is maybe play, again, 8th notes on your snare drum, anything that's a quarter note on your high tom, and then every other measure, just play all bass drum. So I'm not looking at it, so I'm trying to remember how he wrote the rhythms, but... What would it be? It would probably be... No, it would probably be... I need to look at it when I do it. But the point is, pick a tom to play either all the quarter notes or all the 8th notes. Your snare drum gets the rest of the notes, and then your bass drum gets the rhythm by itself every other measure. That's kind of a fun way to do it too, and it gets your bass drum playing longer phrases than just one note. So, like I said, if you email me, jazzdrumhang@gmail, I can email you a bunch of different ways that I've used syncopation. I have a list somewhere. Let's see. What is the best way to improv the jazz vocabulary? Well, it's like any other vocabulary. You got to learn words. You got to learn words, and then after you learn words, you can use sentences, and then you hear people speak your whole life. Then you can put together sentences. So the best way is to listen. Maybe spend a week on one piece of vocabulary. So, I mean, a paradiddle, radimacue, a Philly Joe lick that uses paradiddle diddles or double paradiddles. One piece of vocabulary, and then do a lot of listening and see if you can hear that vocabulary in the masters as they play it. So it's not, to me, it's not only about practicing a piece of vocabulary, it's about knowing how to use it and how it sounds when it's used right. That's the beautiful thing about transcribing and listening, is like the swing is in the nuance. It's in the accented note. What's accented, what's not, the phrasing of it, the shape, the sticking, right? It's not just notes. It's about how it's played. You know, it's like it's just like any other language. You know, I could say, "I hate you," and smile at you, and I say, "I hate you," and it has a different vibe than if I said, "I hate you," and I pointed an axe at your head. Like, it's a different, same words, different meaning, right? So you gotta take one piece of vocabulary, take even triplets. Just practice listening for triplet vocabulary, and listen for the masters playing it at a tempo you can hear it. Notice how it sounds, and then try to sing it. That's a good way to go about it, I think. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? Yeah, Raymond, please email me. I can do better. I have a whole list. I just can't. It's been a minute since I've looked at it, but I missed a lot of stuff here. Hang on. Let's see. I speak about, oops, shoot. Yeah, speak about swing in 12/8. Well, yeah, yeah. Comping, turnaround, kicks, licks on 12/8 swing. Well, swing is 12/8. I mean, in a 12/8 groove, you're just feeling a triplet on every count. And in everything that's swinging, there's a triplet on every count. I implore you to watch my What is Swing video from a couple weeks ago here on YouTube. If it's swinging, it's got triplet subdivision. So 12/8, absolutely. And actually, I'll show you something I'm working on in 12/8 that is swinging and hard. Okay. So let's hit 12/8 swing in 1 second. I'm gonna address T Music's question about multiple eighth notes on the snare drum, keeping it swinging, and I think, and then I'll show you this 12/8 thing since we're talking about 12/8, and so keeping eighth notes swinging. Keeping eighth notes swinging, as far as I'm concerned, is a matter of being able to comfortably play a full stroke and a tap. And by a tap, I mean try to get no prep. There's no, by a prep, I mean, you know, the prep stroke is when it goes up before it goes down. And when I play a tap, I just want it to be basically, it's like I'm dropping my stick. Let me get a better view. I'm gonna zoom in here on my snare drum because you couldn't see that. What's up? I'm gonna get in on the snare drum. There we go. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. And I think a lot of times if I'm going to play multiple eighth notes, I'll get my hand out of the way. Man, I miss being in the drum hang studios, man. That's all right. So I end up doing that quite a bit for a tap. I'm literally dropping the stick. I'm literally just dropping the stick from about 2 inches up, whatever. As opposed to, let's see, I'll get, there we go. Two strokes. The full stroke where I'm using my wrist, I'm not pushing down, I'm just getting the stick up. Just full stroke. I'm basically getting it up and I'm letting gravity do the rest. And my tap, which has no prep. So for instance, if you're gonna play, so let me get this up. So I think the point is this. Don't overswing the eighth notes. You got to be comfortable playing tap strokes, and you have to be comfortable playing full strokes. So, you know, you can do this doing using syncopation, comping those rhythms. You can do it. John Riley's book, all that. But I would practice, you know, playing every note as a bounce, every note as a tap, every note as a full stroke, and then going and maybe labeling them, or playing a game where it's like if it's an eighth note, it's a tap, and if it's a quarter note or longer, it's a full stroke. You can also do that with buzzes, but don't try to overswing it, and you gotta be able to relax your wrist. And the other great way to practice this is by playing a shuffle, because it's bounce, bounce, full, bounce, 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 full. Like, that's how you play a shuffle, smoothly swinging, you know, and not mess it up or get tired. It's, you know. You know, I mean, and then once you can get the shuffle, then maybe don't put all the full strokes on 2 and 4, put the full strokes in other places, and now you're comping steady eighth notes with moving accents, basically. So, ooh, I missed a bunch of stuff. I hope that helps. Let's see, where am I? Name a few drummers who have had any tips on playing like Marcus Gilmore. Shit. Be completely ambidextrous. Be very musical. I mean, practicing simple things. I mean, Marcus is incredible. I have an episode where I had a 7-note phrase. So practicing some groupings. Okay. Take a grouping of 5. Yeah, okay, I'll do this first. Okay, the quick Marcus Gilmore thing. You gotta be, first of all, you gotta be comfortable playing in groupings of 5, 7, etc. And being able to play dynamically really broad phrases. So take a grouping of 5. So you're gonna go paradiddle, hi-hat. Sorry. I did alternating. Do alternating. That's a start. Do it in 7. Do it in phrases of 7. Played at every dynamic level. He plays 4-stroke roughs a lot. So mean, I'm no master of Marcus Gilmore. He's a bad boy and a great drummer. So watch him and try to pick up what he's doing, slow it down maybe, and watch his motion and try to get some of those groupings. That's a big thing. And the dynamic contrast he has is amazing. Yes. Okay. Drew and then Shambles. Drew, yes. JC Hurd, Mel, Elvin. I did an episode, Jazz Drum Hang. If you all read Jazz Drum Hang, you see the episode. But it's about quarter note feathering on the snare drum. Those all, those cats all did it, and it's actually super fun, and it adds such a weight to the beat. So, for instance, let's get this. Elvin. Yeah, quarter notes on the snare drum. That's some stuff. There is an episode on that. Jazz Drum Hang, of course. Okay, so now some drummers. Drummers who have profound impact on me. Okay, I'll try to do quick. It's a big question. Elvin Jones, profound impact is obviously he came up with a way of playing that was his own style, which a lot of drummers have done that are obviously all the legends of the music. But Elvin's style is so unique, and Elvin could get, in my listening, he's something that I strive to be able to do is get that amount of energy into the music and not rush, not push the tempo, not be edgy. Like he sits back where he feels the time, and it's not staccato, energetic pushiness. It's like laid back, I'm a badass, and he has all that energy in the music, and it never feels like it's rushing kind of on top, Mel Lewis, ride cymbal pattern. Mel Lewis, big band master, the best. Mel Lewis, the ability to make everybody sound good pretty much every time he ever played in any setting. That's the shit. Billy Higgins, ride cymbal beat, and joy. And Tom Rainey, creativity and touch. Jeff Hamilton, swing. Kenny Washington, tempos. Matt Wilson, joy, creativity, and sound, touch. John Riley, for just hearing him play so many times at the Vanguard and him constantly going for new things, constantly trying new things, playing new vocabulary. He's always working on shit. He is constantly pushing himself, and I love that about his playing, like a lot of people would take that gig and know the chart and go just phone it in, and he is constantly just pushing himself. It's beautiful. Yeah. Shelly Manne, brush solos. Love Shelly Manne brush solos. I could go on, but this is kind of lame. Probably not lame, but you probably have enough there, but it's like, man. Roy Haynes, later in his career, how little hi-hat he could play. We didn't even need the hi-hat, man. Just play the flat ride cymbal. and just that attitude that he brought and the sound he got, incredible. Yeah. All right, T, I'm getting back to you now, sorry. Makes sense. And a small follow-up, like shuffle stuff on snare drum on slightly higher. Okay, so the question is about when I'm shuffling at a faster tempo, and it's kind of a hard thing to, I do this, what could I do? I think I can show you, I'll try it on my floor tom. I do this weird thing. I kind of do this twist with my wrist. It's not from anything anybody ever taught me. It was just from me doing it as a teenager in my basement, trying to figure out how to get eighth notes. So let me get this lower. I'll show you what I do. I can't promise you it's what should be done. I can promise you though, however, it is what I do. So let me get something on this floor tom to deaden it. All right, so check this out. This is my left hand. I basically, right, wrong, or otherwise, I do this. So, I'm sorry for the crotch shot. Nobody wants to see that. Okay, so I was self-taught all the way up until I was pretty much 22, but I still had to learn how to play shuffle and how to play 2 eighth notes as taps. And so I didn't do tap tap. I did this kind of effed up sideways thing where it's 2 taps rotating my wrist. And so when I play a shuffle, that's what I do. Even when I go faster, that's what I do. So I don't know if that's going to be helpful or not, but that is what I do. It's a matter of my wrist. I am using my fingers, but I'm not just simply dropping it. So it's kind of my own little thing, but I think it, yeah, I appreciate that, James. I think I like the sound of my shuffle, man. I like to play shuffle. And people who hear me play shuffle, a lot of times they said, I've never heard a match grip cat play shuffle that sounded right. Well, I don't know. I know that I tried to make the shit sound right. I tried to make it sound swinging. I tried to make it sound like Jeff Hamilton when I was a little kid, and that's the way I made those soft notes. You know, that's how I got it out, and that's the way I've always done it. So, you know, that's it. I can do it pretty fast these days. Question was, I don't use the finger. Sorry, I just reread your question, T. So I don't use at fast. I'm using wrist and finger and that twist thing. I'm not using molar. No. Relaxation during trading fours. Focus on letting the stick bounce off the head, so you're not pushing the stick into the head. Are you breathing? Literally, are you breathing? Like, you know, we should work as drummers. We should work more on focusing on our breath. I can tell when a drummer's holding their breath, and I can see their face turn red, and chances are great their muscles are tight and they're rushing. So are you breathing? Can you breathe? I don't think about it too much, but like I feel like if I'm breathing in sort of like two measure phrases, you know, it's like and then another breath. It's like I'm kind of maybe breathing sort of in time. I think everything is probably in time when I'm playing. If God help me, if my hands are in time and my feet are in time, I hope my breath is doing something in time. But yeah, are you breathing? Are you focusing on letting the sticks bounce off the head? And the other thing about maybe playing relaxed, don't play too much, play simpler. And also if you're trading fours, this is my pet peeve. Have some different approaches to playing fours, so that sometimes you play comping solo, sometimes maybe you play melodic solo, sometimes maybe you play more rudimental solo. There's different things, and what I find for a lot of students is the ones that are not relaxed is because they're trying to play too much, they're not breathing, they're playing the drum too hard, and the last thing is every 4-bar phrase is like a freaking Pratt or Wilcoxon snare drum solo, and it's like, can we just hear something with some clear rhythm, maybe a little repetition, maybe a little melody? Like, it doesn't have to be, you know, the craziest Philly Joe Jones snare drum shit every 4 bars. I mean, that's cool for those that can do it, and that's cool for those who want to do it, but it's, yeah, you know, there's a lot of different ways, and there's a lot of different drummers, you know. Shelly, man, I'll go back to Shelly. I love so much about Shelly's playing, but like, you know, I think, you know, like, you hear him, I heard him play on YouTube this morning with Lee Conant is from Italy, sometime in the 70s, Lee Conant and Eddie Lockjaw Davis. And the trading fours were all so great. And sometimes he would play more snare drums things, and sometimes he would play more melodic ideas, and then sometimes he would play comping idea, you know? I think that will help a lot of us relax if we have different bags we can get into where we're playing comfortably and not overplaying. Our muscles relax. So that's my thought on that. I didn't know Ringo does something similar. Yeah, a lot of that like those fast 16th notes, it's kind of, for me, it's easier to twist my wrist. Then you get this kind of back and forth thing happening. So I would bet I'm not the only cat, and I guess I'm not, because Ringo, and I bet, you know, some of those R&B rock cats in the 50s, I learned a lot from transcribing Lewis Nash also. Great phrases. Let's see. Chops or melody? Well, I mean, I think that's what you're saying. I would go back and forth between some chop stuff and then referencing or singing the melody, and then some simpler stuff. I mean, you know, I think that's the key. Marcus, I prefer 8/8. Can build an idea much better, like Al Foster, 8/8. Not sure exactly what you mean by 8/8. Just playing all eighth notes? Maybe that's what you mean. I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, Alvin used to extend his trades. Well, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It depends who you're playing with and the vibe. I think if you did it, okay, ask yourself the question. Alvin could do a lot of things that a lot of us. Oh, I see what you're saying, Marcus. Okay. Yeah, I don't prefer trading fours. I prefer trading eights or 16 or choruses. That's the thing. Oh, I was talking to Matt Wilson. He's a great friend and a drummer, and he's like, think about that. What other musician on the bandstand is relegated to playing 8-bar solo phrases? The bass player gets to play choruses. Piano player, horn players, they all get to play choruses. The drummer, how many times do you go to a gig and it's like, Ooh, we get to trade now. We get to play 4-measure phrases or 8-measure phrases. Wouldn't it be nice to like if they trusted us, Larry, to play a freaking chorus or two on a song? But you know, it's not against us. It's that they're scared because they've played enough gigs with drummers who couldn't keep the form, who were not clear, who dropped beats or played too loud, that a drummer soloing on the form is risky business. And the horn player could look stupid if they don't know where to come in. So they're saving themselves and not giving us a solo. I don't love trading 4s as much as I love trading 8s. And I like playing longer phrases, you know, like trading on the blues. Let's trade a couple choruses, then let me have a couple, right? Am I mistaken? I think everybody here probably agrees with me. Matt pointed it out. It's like, who else gets 8 measures at a time? Yeah. But that's why we should be our own band leader too, and book the gig. And you know, there's lots of tunes too where it can get weird with the trading and messed up, but Aerogen, super fun. You know, Straight Street is another good one to trade on where you can do different things with the form. So, but the question that I got behind on was Elvin would play over the bar line. So the point is, yeah, it's totally cool to do that. Like, it doesn't have to, you can play into their phrase, you know, they can play into yours. So the point I was getting at that I got sidetracked was, think of it, if you were the horn player, or if, no, let me rephrase it. I'm really not on top of my game today. If a horn player played over into your first measure every time, would you want to kill him? Maybe. Yeah, it's like, that has happened a lot of times on gigs. I'll play, the cat will take my, if we're trading, first of all, if they trade 4s and they take, you know, my first 6 beats of every 4, I have 2 measures, you know? It's not cool. They should be aware that they're getting in my space every time. And I should be aware if I'm getting in their space every time. So if you go over the bar line, I think it's cool. Just be aware of who you're playing with. Be aware of if it throws them off or it's giving them material to play off of. That's different. I mean, if it's just sort of some out-of-time garbly goop and it's in their way, it's probably not ideal. If you're playing the end of a repetitious phrase or the end of a logical phrase, all good. If you do it every time, they're going to get dark, just like you would get dark. So Elvin, a lot of things Elvin does are magic, because if we tried to do them or did them, it's just not going to work. But playing over the phrase is fine if you don't do it too much. Yeah, trading sections and stablements, right? That's great. Straight Street, too. Yeah, we are all in agreement, man. This trading 4s business needs to stop. T, let's see. Okay, I'm going to get to Marcus. T said, I prefer taking the last 4 beats so you kind of solo together in the last bar. Yeah, I mean, it's totally, there's, you know, that's the thing. There's no real rule. I like to play in the last, it does, I don't know if I like any of this. It's like, you know, the 4th measure is sort of a free-for-all. It's like they're ramping up their thing and yours is ending, and it can go anywhere. Marcus, in a blues, what do you think a 4-bar question and 8-bar answer? I actually do it the opposite way. I mean, when I've practiced, I have an episode. Surprise, there's an episode on Jazz Drum Hang that used to be up on YouTube. But now if you want to watch it, you got to go to Jazz Drum Hang. I'm not bullshitting you. The site is good. There's a lot of stuff on there. Now, I practice soloing on the blues, and I actually prefer sort of thinking of it as 8 and 4 instead of the other way around. Because it's like, ba, boo, boo, de, ba, boo, ba, this is the blues. Usa, boo, boo, ge, ba, ba-doo, boo. This is the blues. The last 4 bars is the end of the freaking blues. So to me, it's definitely 8 and 4. There's an episode, as I said, where I show you a lot of different ways to practice it by playing 2 sort of call and responses, right? A 2-measure phrase and then a response, and then the same 2-measure phrase and then a response, and then a 4-measure conclusion to the chorus. It can sound kind of hokey, but I tell you what, I've done it on gigs, and like the horn player or vocalist or whoever's hiring you, who is nervous about your solo and them coming in right, when you play very clear idea A, da 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 da, and then you get a response, and then idea A again, da, and then you play a response, and then you play the last 4 bars. The faces on the bandstand light up because they know where you are, they enjoy it, and they can hear the form, and the crowd too. So, but then you can diverge and make it play a 12-measure phrase, play freaking over the bar line, do whatever to keep the form. But I think thinking of it as 8 and 4 is the way to go. That's the way I do it. And then 12, you know. Let's see. Wow. Have you heard of the drummer Ben Harrington? He's 4'7", like Chick Webb. I don't know how tall Chick. I have a doctorate, but I don't have all the answers. I don't remember how tall Chick Webb was. But Ben Harrington, 4'7". I mean, man. If you got hands, you can play the drums. You know what I mean? Except that cat. What was the cat from Def Leppard who lost his arm? But you know, most of us on this live chat right now, we could play the Def Leppard gig with 1 foot. Frankly, maybe he lost his leg. Oh shit! I shouldn't have said that. I think he lost his leg. That's what it was. Anyway, I restate my point that any of us probably on this live question and answer right now, because we're all jazz drummers, we could have played the Def Leppard gig with our pinky finger tied behind our back with no feet. He lost his arm? I thought he lost his leg. Oh, he used his legs. Now I'm remembering. He used his legs to play the arm thing that was missing. My bad. I don't hate on Def Leppard necessarily. I just remember somebody kept, like when I was a kid, people were like, dude, that guy's so impressive. I'm like, man, we could all do that. It's just slow 8th note beats. It's not like he was the drummer in Pantera. Now that would be something. I digress. I'm sorry. Ben Harrington. Yeah, it's mental. I mean, he's got hands. Where is he? Is Ben Harrington alive, or is he a drummer who passed away? And if he's, you know, either way, is there video? Where do I see this cat and his magic hands? I mean, height doesn't matter. I mean, I think, you know, Tiny Khan was a giant man. He could play light and fast. And Chick Webb was a, you know, sort of a hunchback short man, and he could play his ass off better than anybody too. So let's see. T asked, what was your doctorate about? My doctorate was in jazz music. I have 3 degrees in jazz music. Yeah, well, hopefully, maybe I'll teach at college someday. That's where that'll come in handy, I guess, because I'll have a degree. But I have all music degrees, and I wrote my dissertation did turn into the Mel Lewis book, so I got something out of it, and I enjoyed doing that very much. What am I currently working on? I'll show you. Okay, so he's so he's over. He played Leeds Jazz Fest. Okay, so I'll have to. I'm gonna check this cat out. Not right now, but when we're done here today, sometime I'll go check out Ben Harrington, as we all should. That's good. Thanks for hipping us. currently working on? Well, I'm working on that snare drum thing. Now I'll play something for you. I'll show you. I honestly haven't played this week. I think I practiced it a little bit a week Friday. Anyway, I mentioned I'm working out of this book, and I found. Now these are patterns in 6/8. Which one did I do? 12, I think. See if I can show it to you. Boop. Yeah, at the top of my fingers, number 12. So it's written in 6/8. Whatever. It's 4 counts with 12 triplets, so it could be 12/8 for all I care. It could be written in 4, whatever. But I mean, that's what it is. So let me see if I can do it. Let me see. I'll get this camera better situated. So it's this Dave Garibaldi thing, and I've been enjoying working on it. Let's see if I can do it worth a shit at all right now. But let's see. All right, so could be sad at first. Okay, so here's the hi-hat is on all the downbeats. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So let me get this a better angle. So it's basically the clave. The clave is in my right hand. It's kind of different for me, but kind of challenge. Jeepers creepers. So many issues. Sorry, folks. Doing the best I can. I don't know if you're all aware, but we're in a pandemic. Shit hits the fan. There we go. Okay, so here we go. The clave is in my right hand here. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Ah! Beat 4 is such a. Sorry. So basically, my bass drum is going 4 and 1. My hi-hat is on all the downbeats. My clave is in my right hand, and my left hand on the rim shot is playing the middle partial of every triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. actually challenging. It was weird for me to get used to playing the clave with my right hand on the ride cymbal, because I just been used to playing the clave with my left hand. But pretty happening. So it's exercise 12, page 77, Timba Funk, David Garibaldi, Michael Spiro, Jesus Diaz. Fun book. Let's see if I missed anything. Nestor. Last question for me for a minute. Improve your 3/4 waltz. Been listening to a lot of Max. If that's the man, right? Of course. Time. I've been working on my waltz beat, albeit it's a bit sloppy. John Riley has a great, really I shouldn't say it. A hard buster of a workout. What is it called? There's a John Riley book. It's not Art of Bebop Drumming, and it's not the second bebop drumming one. It's the other one. It's kind of a bunch of articles he did for Modern Drummer condensed in a book. But he has some great exercises working on 3. I think Joe LaBarbera said said he'd been working on that too. But Jazz Drummers Workshop, thank you. The stuff John wrote in there in 3 is really hard for me. When I play 3, I've worked on certain things. I've worked on comping and trying to get my hi-hat to feel comfortable playing different clave patterns, right? So, you know, you got 2 and 3. The and of 1 and 3. You got just beat 2. But I think when I think about playing in 3, and what helps me is knowing that, you know how we get in this thing of playing comping patterns. If we're thinking straight ahead swing, it's like playing your ride cymbal, never stopping your ride cymbal ever, or you will be struck by lightning and Kenny Washington will take your drumsticks, or whoever. And I get it. But in 3, that's the Riley book has different ride cymbal patterns to play. But like, just practice playing quarter notes and changing your hi-hat to play different, you know, beat 2, beat and a 1 and 3, 2 and 3, changing up your hi-hat, playing quarter notes with your ride cymbal, comping simple things with your left hand, in the spaces around your hi-hat, you know, and then basically just play eighth notes in your ride cymbal when it feels comfortable. You know, it's like, I think about playing in 3, and I have kind of, for whatever reason, I feel more comfortable and more freedom to break up the time between my cymbal, my snare drum, or whatever, you know, my left hand, my right hand, and my hi-hat are all kind of working together. Sort of how, like, Elvin or Roy Haynes played straight ahead. But when I go to play straight ahead, it's turned into, sometimes it can be this real militant thing of like, ding, dig a 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 ding. And if I don't do that all the time, I suck. But that's not the case. So don't think of it too hard in 3 either. Just, you're keeping the pulse. You're playing some clave, however, in and out of different clave ideas with your hi-hat and snare drum. And your cymbal is playing nice quarter notes with the occasional eighth note as it feels comfortable. I see nothing wrong with that. That's, if you haven't worked on that, I think you should definitely work on that. So, that's my take. I got a split here in a second. Any other questions? Can you drop that? How do I do that? The thing is, you asked me to drop the name and author in the chat, and I would love to, but I haven't yet figured out, because I'm probably technologically slow, how I can actually chat. I can see the live chat that's visible. However, I don't know how to chat myself during this shit. So, Larry, Jazz Drummers Workshop. John Riley is the author, and the book is called Jazz Drummers Workshop. Lots of good stuff in there, including his exercises on playing in 3, which was working on, and I haven't for a while, so I need to get it back out and keep at it. So that's it for me today. I got a split, but it's been 66 minutes of fun. Not my most coherent question and answer, but you know, we're all working on it. So thanks for stopping through. Oh, author for Timbal Funk. That I can tell you. It's right here. Jesus Diaz, David Garibaldi, and Michael Spiro. Yeah. It's cool, man. I think it's really, there's good stuff. It's fun. So I've been enjoying that. Greetings from Mexico. Good to see you, Edgar. Thanks for stopping in. Greetings from the United States. You know, we're trying not to infect everybody. Hey, Chad. Good to see you. Man, enjoyed the other day very much. Great chat with John McCaslin on Chad's Instagram live. So it's probably recorded somewhere, I would guess, that people can go check it out. A great conversation with 2 great drummers. So I'm here every Thursday, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Check out Jazz Drum Hang if you haven't. There's a free trial. You can go. You can spend 3 days, watch all my videos, and never pay a cent if you'd like. But I'd love for you to go and become a member and stick around. There's new videos, multiple new videos every week. I'm going to start sooner or later. In the next couple months, I'm going to start a members-only Jazz Drum Hang question and answer. It's not going to be here. It's going to be in Zoom, where I'm going to have a private Zoom link. And we can actually play things and actually converse one-on-one instead of just the chat thing. So that's going to be happening. Teach privately through Jazz Drum Hang, either Skype, Zoom lesson, or video exchange lessons, which I love doing, which is unlimited video exchange between you and me for 30 days. You get access to the site. It's $60. So access to the site is $15. So for $45 more, you can send me a video every day if you'd like about you practicing something, and I will send you a video back for every video you send me with my thoughts, the good, the bad. I'll play some things to show you next steps, and it's really, I think it's the best way to learn online. So considering COVID, it's a good time to do some video exchange lessons. So check out Jazz Drum Hang. There's a free trial, like I said, and before you are in, but I hope you stick around, and thanks for joining, everybody. Be safe. I'll be back, and if you don't already, please subscribe to this YouTube. Find me on Instagram, Jazz Drum Hang on Instagram. Also, my personal site, Chris Smith Jazz Drums. And that's it, man. So everybody be safe. Thanks for stopping in, and I hope to see you next week.